What is the process for entering into counseling therapy? The first thing is to simply read through some of my website pages and watch the videos. If it's for couples, watch those, or individual counseling, read those pages, watch those videos. And then from the first contact to the start of the first session, the steps are these. First, contact me any way that's convenient for you to contact me. It could be by email, by text, or just simply by calling. I'll answer your questions about any aspect of the counseling process during that first contact. Those questions could include questions like cost, frequency of sessions, length of sessions, how long will the therapy typically last? And at that point, once your questions are answered and you feel confident in moving forward, then we'll schedule the first session. We'll look at different kinds of times that work for your schedule and for mine. In general, I do weekday times, and I also do both 4 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. times to accommodate your schedule in terms of, being done with your workday. I also do Saturday mornings. Next, I will send an email to you, and this email will contain an intake form, a blank intake form attached to it. You'll open up that attachment, and it opens up in Microsoft Word. And by the way, in the email, there are specific instructions like the ones I'm giving you now, but in more detail for filling out the intake form. If you don't have Microsoft Word, find another program that will open up Microsoft Word documents. Google Docs is one. There are others. And in my email, I'll send you a link to free online programs to open up a Microsoft Word file if you don't have it. If you have some difficulty, you just can't seem to do it, I also send you a PDF document, which you could simply print out and then fill it out by hand. Once you do that, then you would simply scan that or take a picture of it and send it back to me. But it's really much easier, much less work for you and for me if you can open up the document in Microsoft Word or a program that opens up Word. Once you have the file opened, please rename it right away. The file name that I'm giving you says first, last, intake. Please change the word first to your first name and the name last to your last name and leave the word intake. The intake form usually takes people about 15 minutes to fill out. And one thing to make sure you track is signing the document. It is after the third page, which is the page that has all the wording. And sometimes the pages will shift around. If you put in a lot more information on the first pages, it might move that third page down to the fourth page. It's the place after all the wording where I talk about confidentiality and how, if you will, the fine print. It's not fine, but it's all the print. At the very end of that, it's the place to sign. So just simply type in your name, and that will be your signature as a digital signature. Also be sure to not skip on any pages. Sometimes people have gotten through the first page or two and they didn't realize there was more pages. There's about 7 pages in all, and the other pages take very little time to fill out. It's just a matter of putting X's in the appropriate spots. Once you're done, attach it back in the original email that I sent. After I receive your email back to me with the filled out intake form, I will set up a file for you and I'll look through it carefully. And if there's something missing, I'll probably send you a follow-up email asking you to complete that missing information. And then between the time of our phone call or texting or email to talk about all these things and the time of your first session, something might happen where it's important to get back in touch with me. One thing that would do it is if you have a change in your schedule and you need to reschedule. Another reason to be back in touch is just to simply verify the time and date, to make sure you know the right time and date to meet with me online. And I'll do the same for you. I'm usually going to be re-verifying the first session and actually subsequent sessions about a day before through text. In terms of contacting me, text is actually the best way to get in touch with me, and I'll be able to respond sooner. But the other methods will still work in terms of calling or email. But calling isn't as good, and voicemail is not as good either. Sometimes those don't come through as quickly. So with any other questions you have prior to our first session, just get in touch and we'll go ahead and go through whatever you need to know so you're confident to proceed with your first session. And I'll look forward to working with you. Thank you.